Welcome, everybody, and I'd like to call the December 23rd meeting of the Edison Public Library Board to order. Let the minutes reflect that it is 7:02. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by notices given to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, and Sentinel, posted on the library bulletin boards and website, and given to the Township Clerk's office. Roll call, please.
Ms. Mead,
Here.
Ms. Kraus,
Here.
Mr. DeBasquale,
Here.
Mr. Romano,
Here.
Ms. O'Neill,
Here.
Ms. Pam,
Here.
Mr. Patel. Here. Ms. Leary.
Excused absence.
Ms. Massey.
Here. Here I am. Okay. All right, so we don't have any minutes, to approve. And my report, well, here we are. I have to thank all of you for coming out on December 23rd and this very busy time. But we have a lot that we can get done tonight. Between December 10th and today, it's been unbelievably busy. We were able to open the bids, the second round of bids, and so we should have a bid to award tonight. And we were able to come up with a rental property for this particular building when it's closed. So that's, and plus a whole bunch of other things, meetings and whatever, committee meetings and whatever that has gone on. So, but I really want to thank this board. I have absolutely no idea whether, I don't think we'll be together in January, but you have been phenomenal, and I think we have gotten a lot accomplished. And I won't even go listing, and well, we'll talk about you later. But yeah, no, so this is wonderful. So we have a lot to discuss. So what we're going to have to do right now is go into closed session. Right, I am sure we need to go into closed session. So I will read this resolution to hold a closed session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act provides for the exclusion of the public at the Board of Trustees meetings during the discussion of certain matters. And whereas prior to the exclusion of the public from a Board of Trustees meeting, it is required that the board adopt a resolution stating the general nature of the subject to be discussed and stating as precisely as possible the time when the minutes of the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public. And whereas this body is able to consider a matter which falls within the purview of NJSA 10:4-12 and can properly exclude the public from such discussions, now therefore be it resolved that the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees shall enter into a closed session to consider the following matter. And it is going to be with contracts and basically contracts.
And personnel.
And personnel, yes. It is further resolved that the minutes of said discussion shall be made public as soon as the matter under discussion is no longer of a confidential nature. All right, so do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Thank you. Excellent. All right. All those in favor? Aye. All right, so we are now in closed session, which means that,
You gotta leave?
I'm sorry, and you just got yourself
Just for a little
comfortable.
bit.
I know, it's terrible, but
Well,
you're,
can I bring up what I was gonna bring up, and then you can talk whatever you want? You have a problem here, a very bad health problem. You don't have water. You can't drink out of the water fountain, period. The one has been broken for months. The other one, you have to literally put your mouth into the thing, unless you get a cup of water. We're talking about months. You also have a problem with your, toilets, because you don't have the proper water pressure. If you had tanks, it wouldn't be bad, but don't have tanks. You have the things, you flush, you have to have water pressure for that. If you don't, it doesn't work properly. You don't flush the toilets out all the way. You have residue. Now, this has been going on for months.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, and if you want to speak about it further a little bit later, but.
That's why I came to the meeting.
Okay,
The
well,
other problem you have, which Charlie even mentioned, you have what you call it, the defibrillator, the one that you put on.
yes,
Do you ever check it? The ones we have on the railroad, we check and we have charged all the time. If you don't check it and first you keep it charged, guess what? It doesn't work. You know, it'd be
Right.
very embarrassing if somebody has a problem and the thing doesn't work. And the last time you checked it, it didn't work. So you know how foolish, do you want to really get sued? You want to be brought up on criminal negligence?
of course not. And I appreciate your comments. I think they're extraordinarily helpful. But right now, we do need to go into closed session, but we will come back into open session.
When?
Well, as soon as we finish with what we have to discuss in closed session.
You mean today?
Today, oh, yes.
Oh, I thought
yes.
it was gonna be,
Oh, no, we just are putting closed session in the beginning of the meeting because we have things that we hope that we can vote on when we come back into public session.
Yeah. One of the things I hope you vote on is getting the repairs done.
Yes,
Especially since it's not days, not weeks, months.
well, thank you. I really
Okay.
I appreciate you coming in.
Okay. How long will you be closed?
Not sure yet.
We're not sure. We have several things that we
Things to
need
discuss.
to.
So it could be, at 9 o'clock, the library closes. Are you gonna stay
Oh,
here?
no, we're not gonna be that late. I don't think we're gonna be that long.
Because
Probably no more than
I
a
used
half
to
hour.
be in the union, and we used to have, and sometimes they would go on for hours. Especially if you have a number of things.
Right. No, I think we'll be quick. So. Oh, all right.
It was after 8 o'clock,
I know.
It's past my bedtime.
I know. All right, do we have a motion to return to open session?
Motion.
All right, do we have a second? Second. Okay. All right. Our financial reports, we actually have, let's see. Did everybody have a chance to review the financial reports? And we do have a copy here,
What you have is, next
Is
year's
the-
budget.
is the budget.
Next year, brother, you said.
It's next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Proposed. We do have a short bill list, because it's basically been 2 weeks,
Right,
but we did want to get in as much as we can, before the December 30th date. You will have one more final, we will close out the books basically on, December 30th. And we meet on the 14th, and then once that's finished, we'll do the rollover, if the board approves the new budget. I did want to, just make one comment, and, I think seems to be some kind of misunderstanding, I'm gonna say, on social media, because they really don't understand everything. The township has met their obligation for 2024. So even though our anticipated township revenue was $6,740,000, and we only received $4,493,000, the difference between that is what's taken off for medical liability and PERS.
Right.
And we can't post it to this because we actually don't ever get it. And we can't post the bills because we don't get it. But we are I'm gonna see if I can, have a conversation, with Ken Roberts.
Right,
If he would be willing to work out with us that we could do some kind of monetary exchange with purchase orders on the same day that they cut us our quarterly check. So we actually can deposit the whole 1/3 and give them back what we would give them on the same day, so. we
which
can
is,
actually post it.
what we had been discussing
Yeah.
with the shared services agreement.
Yeah,
To please invoice, no, the bill, the library, and then
but
pay the money back.
Yeah, I think though, if I can, when I'll share this with him, I think when I show it to him,
Yeah,
he'll understand, unless he's got a suggested workaround for us to simply show that, but, we can't, post anything we actually don't get. And we can't do a purchase order for something we don't have an invoice for. So, I thought in the new year I would have a conversation with him. The worst case scenario is that he says, no, the best case, success would be, he says, okay.
yeah, that he says, oh, I see
Yeah,
what
and
you
so
mean.
now he,
I
you
see.
know, just showing this, so I just
Right.
wanted to make that point, we have received, all the money that was due for us. We have our medical, the PERS was paid, all that stuff, so, and liability insurance and all that, so, just as a general on the, that's why the numbers at this point could never come out to be exactly the revenue and the expenditures, because there's basically that difference in the expenditures and revenues. But, other than that, what we're basically dealing with is all the operating and, the, I'm right there, capital.
Oh, that's good. Are there any questions about the, bill list dated December 23rd? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the bill list?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a second? All right. Roll call, please.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
and Mr. Patel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And-
And Ms. Massey. motion
Yes.
carries.
Okay, and then we have the audit report. I didn't realize we were gonna get a beautiful. I hope everybody had an opportunity to review the audit report that we received.
Chris and I, have had several conversations with, Bob Villa from, Supply Cooley. And basically, now that we have someone doing the financials full-time, he would like us to, memorialize and create a financial manual, which we will, do, and that's on Christopher's, to-do list, beginning when we come back. He's also suggesting, but I'd like to get a little more information. He'd like is recommending someone come in quarterly just to oversee, for a day, each quarter to make sure everything is correct, rather than waiting for the end of the year, when they do, the audit. So, he's going to send me something and I'll touch base with the finance committee, in the new year. He's gonna send me a name of a person and I'll find out more from Bob what he would expect that person to do, for what Chris isn't doing. But generally, we do the same things every year. The 2023, we were, waiting for, money back from the town as we were, almost every year. They didn't really find anything in there that was, out of the order, well, and ordinary. So I hope you've had a chance to look at it, since there's been no changes since the, one that I gave you at the board meeting. He just waits to print this, after the board has taken a look at it.
Thank you. Yes,
At the Board of Ed, we have a team of 5 people that are in our accounting. And then we have an accounting firm that comes in and actually goes through everything monthly. That's a good idea to make sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do, where we're dotting the T, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. That's a great idea to do. This way, we catch everything right from the begin with.
And I must say that Bob's been really good to work with these last couple of years, and simply because he understands finances here, and he understands our history with whatever we call the medical or whatever, we, we don't use the word splits anymore, whatever we call that. And so he understands why we're not getting our full allocation, and he has a good relationship with the town, gets the reports that he needs whenever he's working on it. I hope that the board would, continue to use him, at least for, next year. And then I would, recommend, since it's been 3-4 years, that next fall, we just look for a regular, go out for an RFP. We still may decide we want to use them again, but every 3-4 years, I think it's just good to do that. And so it would be next year, I think next fall would be the good time to do that. Just to see, perhaps if there's anyone out there that could take a different look, who knows? So, that's something for next year's finance committee for them to talk about in the fall.
right, excellent. Did everybody have a chance to review the 2025 budget? I know we had that emailed.
Yeah, what I've tried to do after we had the meeting with the finance committee is kind of make this as clear as possible. Basically, most of our revenue really comes from the township. Following, the second that our interest income is our second biggest chunk of income. State aid has never been funded 100%. And so each year, we go to the state legislature and try to get that, upped. We have not been, successful yet, but, who knows, next year might be the banner year. Although this year this year was more about restoring network funding, so Library Link and other statewide services, would exist. One thing we have been looking at, and I don't know what the revenue will be, is we will probably somewhere around July 1st, we hope, start, being a passport acceptance agency. So as such, we keep, $25 for every passport that is accepted here. Our neighboring, libraries, have brought in income anywhere, from $150 to about $350,000 a year. And so, it's a new form of a new stream of funding, but we still think that it will bring people into the library who have not, been in any one of our libraries. And so we probably will start it slowly at Clara, then North, and then, Edison when, we open. So, who knows if we hit that $500,000 mark, that would enable us to do a lot more services and programs and buy more books and do that. So, that's a potential revenue for, next year. Our budget basically is up, for 2025 by $307,000, for the 1/3 mill. And so, basically that, we put that in, books and materials. We continue to keep the computer and technology line, strong. And we, at this point, this is the number we have for medical. We have not gotten anything, oh, I'm looking at it and it's saying, I'm reading it and thinking that's a dollar sign. I was looking at books and materials. It's 580. I thought it said $80. That's what happens when you don't put your glasses on. As we know, we are also, looking at, some, because of, the budget, adding some more capital, which would be for, furniture, et cetera, for the main library, furniture, for the, North, Edison branch, and rent, for the, North Edison branch, library. The proposed budget, basically, pulls, you know, we're doing two major, capital, projects. And so a good, portion of the proposed budget, will, for all those, will come from the capital plan, plus a couple of, odds and ends. At some point, probably later in the fourth quarter for this year, after the bookmobile conference, we'll be looking at, ordering, the new, bookmobile. It's anticipated now, they'll take anywhere from 24 to 27 months. So we won't actually see it to 2027 or 2028. Our bookmobile, as you all know, was, owned by a prior library. It's not a new vehicle. And for example, it does not like this cold weather. So, luckily, it's off the road for these 2 weeks because of holidays, but it wouldn't start this morning. So, we want to thank DPW. They'll be coming by later this week to give it a start, and, we'll be having the generator, but we're purchasing a starter pack, so we don't always have to call, the township. But I will say DPW, is always, been a good friend for us whenever we need help with the bookmobile, and we thank them all the time, for all the good stuff they do for us.
Is your new vehicle gonna be electric or gasoline or diesel?
It's still gonna be diesel. The electric vehicles still have issues with, generator capacity. And so a small vehicle like our second vehicle, a Sprinter, can be electric, but the big buses still need that diesel, energy, that diesel power, to do it. So, they are a couple of big buses that are around, and people have reported if not got the oomph that it needs to, not only just traveling around, but the energy for it to run this vehicle, which you have computers on, which you have lights, which you have heat, which you have air conditioning on. It just can't do it at this point. Smaller vehicles, even, the electrics are definitely, will be the way to go.
Okay, do you want to move right into your report?
I guess I can. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I wanna, thank all of the board members who were at the library party last Friday. I think you got an idea of what the second floor will look like pretty soon. They will be finishing up probably by next Monday. This Thursday and Friday, they will be delivering, the shelving and the 400+ cartons that have been, in storage. And they will be starting next week, to assemble upstairs. We'll be moving up slowly. Remediation, will now start on the 27th. January and go for 2 weeks. So we're pushing that a little because things aren't finished upstairs. It puts us back. And we could not get the hazmat company to work when they have another contract in between where we were gonna start them on the 6th and the 27th. So
Where is the new library gonna be?
Oh,
Excuse me,
excuse
point of
me,
order.
excuse me. You.
I'm sorry.
Yes, when we have public comment, you can, yeah, you can, I don't even think we have, yes, do we have public comment even listed? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
When we have public comment, you can certainly have some questions.
Um,
But we'll just move through the agenda right now.
that's the main library where we are. The other thing going on is, this library, of course, and that's on the, agenda. And I guess that's it in a nutshell. You'll obviously get my end of year report and a full report the next board meeting. Is there anything you want to add to that?
We have a new children's librarian starting. She's just finished grad school. Her name is Jaylene Betancourt, and we're very excited to have her. She's coming from, Plainfield,
Right.
And South Plainfield.
and South Plainfield. Yeah, so you will hopefully meet her.
She was at the party, right?
No,
Was she at
that
the
was
party?
Sherry.
Oh, that was Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great to meet so many of the newer
Yeah.
or new staff members. It was really fun, and to see the ones who have been here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think that we'll be talking more about the leaves for for this building later, so I won't try to repeat myself.
Right. All right, so is that it for your
Yeah,
report?
it's short.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I can go on there for hours, but I
You
don't think they
could,
want to be here.
you could, no,
No.
no. All right, well, we can move on to the committee report, and the first one was facilities. And we are, very, very pleased, as you had mentioned, that Alan did find a location on Oak Tree Road to relocate this particular building, when it is closed for the renovation. Tony had an opportunity to see it, I saw it, obviously Alan and Deborah saw it, and Kevin saw it for, technology things, and it looks like it will really work out, which is great. And then finance, do you want to say anything about the finance committee? We did. We met, the finance committee did meet on Zoom, and we reviewed the budgets, the finances and everything. We did that, right? We did that extensively. So we accomplished a lot in just a few days. And then personnel,
Yeah, personnel met, we mostly went over the union contracts, which, it's nice to say that, they did accept our proposal, so we're gonna ratify that tonight, because they ratified it, correct?
yeah, they did. They met on, Sunday.
So it's nice to, know that all the employees will not have to have retroactive pay coming, they will get paid on a normal basis with their new amounts. And we'll wait for the resolution until we announce with you.
Right. And then the, policies and bylaws did not meet.
Strategic planning did not.
And strategic planning did not meet. But as I have mentioned before, strategic planning is really now sort of under the auspices of you, the two of you and the staff, because you're implementing the strategic plan. We did, I guess, affiliated with strategic plan, we did have a meeting, for branding that I participated in, and hopefully you had mentioned it last meeting, and hopefully there'll be some, responses from the company.
We hope early January.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, what I'm gonna try to do, Deborah and I will do for the January board meeting, just to, bring everyone up to date, is we'll look through the strategic plan and see what we've accomplished and what yet to be accomplished.
Right,
Because there were some big things besides the construction that we did. The fact that we have now, have our own literacy coordinator, and have our, staff that are doing, ELL classes and digital literacy. And added to that, we have, we'll be one of the, I think, 6 libraries in the state to have a full-time digital navigator, which is paid for by AmeriCorps and Literacy Minnesota. So we made big strides there. The other big project we were trying to do for years was to have a dedicated staff member for older adult services, and Liz has been accomplishing that, and we're doing more and more. Plus, the bookmobile and the Sprinter has now been doing more outreach activities to schools and other events that we did than we had done in the previous year. So I think we probably will work on some report card out of that, but also it will allow the board to see where we need to go in 2025.
thank you. And then we have unfinished business. The only thing listed is the shared services agreement, and we sort of mentioned that before. The only thing I do want to clarify about this shared services agreement is that throughout the state, it is always best practice to have a shared services agreement between your public library and your municipality. That is the standard. That is what you want to have done. We tried very hard, and I think a lot, as Alan had mentioned earlier, a lot has been clarified with the township in terms of expenses. And if you have that conversation with Ken, I think that's a good idea. And it might clarify things even more. Who
Yeah,
knows?
we certainly have made a lot of progress.
Yeah, I think we have made a lot of progress. But let us move to new business. We have a resolution honoring Lisa Krause for her years of dedicated service to the Edison Public Library and the Library Board of Trustees. And I'm gonna read this because it has to be read. Whereas Lisa Krause has served with dedication and distinction on the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees since 2006, providing invaluable leadership, guidance, and support for the library's mission and operations. And whereas during her tenure, Lisa has been a tireless advocate for the importance of libraries in the community, promoting literacy, education, and access to resources for individuals of all ages. And whereas Lisa has contributed to the development of numerous programs, policies, and initiatives that have enhanced the library's ability to serve its patrons and strengthen its role in the community. And whereas her leadership, commitment, and thoughtful contributions have been instrumental in shaping the growth and success of the library, ensuring that it remains a vital and accessible resource for all who rely on it. And whereas Lisa has demonstrated exceptional dedication in attending board meetings, engaging with staff, and representing the library at various community events, often going above and beyond to ensure that the library meets its goals and continues to thrive. And whereas Lisa is stepping down from her role on the Board of Trustees after 18 years, marking the end of an extraordinary chapter of service. Now therefore be it resolved that the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees, on behalf of the entire library community, expresses its deepest appreciation and gratitude to Lisa Krause for her unwavering commitment, leadership, and service over the past 18 years. Be it further resolved that the board and all staff of Edison Public Library wish Lisa continued success in all future endeavors and recognize her lasting impact on the library and the community it serves, having served in a variety of capacities, including board president, board vice president, and board secretary. Adopted this 23rd of December twenty twenty-four by the Edison Public Library Board of Trustees. That's,
Don't blush too much.
all right. Do we have a motion to accept this
So
resolution?
moved.
All
Second,
right, thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus, Mr. Di Pasquale,
yes,
Mr. Romano.
yes,
Ms. O'Neill,
Absolutely, yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes,
Motion carries.
excellent. Oh, my goodness,
Thank
we can't. Oh, boy. Oh, so, all right. All right, we have a resolution to approve and award a construction contract for the renovation and expansion of the North Edison Branch Library to Pal Pro Builders for $4,280,000, which includes the base bid of $3,980,000 and alternate one roof of $300,000 as the lowest responsible bidder. And now, of course, we're very fortunate that Mark Burkowski, our owner's rep, project manager, is here. And do you want to speak on the resolution, or do you want me to read your letter, or?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. Read the letter. If you have any questions, we have to answer.
Okay, so Mark did read, it says 10 bids were received on December 17th, 2024, and were publicly open. The bids were reviewed for completeness and accuracy. Upon review by the architect, the low bids were found to be responsive to the bidding requirements. For budgeting purposes, the bid was divided between the base bid for construction of the project and a separate price for replacing the roof. Since both parts are needed for the proper completion of the project, we recommend awarding the contract to the low bidder, Pal Pro Builders, at a total bid of $4,280,000, plus $300,000 for the roof. Are there any questions at all? Yes,
Pal Pro. Are they the contractor, or will they be subcontracting the job out?
They are the general contractor, but they will be subbing many portions of the contract.
And are they qualified to, pay the subcontractor?
According to the New Jersey's requirements, yes, they are certified to do that. And based upon a comment that we had off the record, we will be monitoring their payments with partial releases on every payment, so that we don't have any issues with payment to subcontractors.
Thank you, I appreciate your comment.
thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Do we have a motion?
One quick question.
No, hold
Sure.
on, no, sorry. This is
Still
only for the
closed?
board,
Yes.
only for the board.
Oh.
You can speak up in public comment.
Do we have a motion and a second on the floor? May
So
I
moved.
ask?
I'll second.
Yeah, do we have,
To accept.
no, yeah, we do need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions or comments, though? All right, could we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes,
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And the next is a resolution to approve a collective bargaining agreement between the Edison Public Library and locals 2204-1 and 2204-2 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO. Council number 63 for the period from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. So do we have a motion?
I move that we approve this as presented during the closed session.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, then roll call vote, please.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
yes,
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, and the next is a resolution to empower the library director and the board attorney to enter into a lease agreement for temporary space for the North Edison Branch Library at 1907 Oak Tree Road, Edison, New Jersey, 08820, for approximately 15 to 18 months during construction, and during construction at the North Branch right here.
Can you repeat, please, what was the, agreed upon, rent?
The rent, was, the rent as he sent us in was 5,000 a month.
And I'd like to move that we, empower the library director and board attorney to enter into a lease agreement for this space for the amount of 5,000 per month.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Wrestle it out.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Was it a tie?
Yeah, that's all right.
Any other questions or comments? All right, then hearing none, we have a roll call vote.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
Yes,
I like this because I could just read the name. Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam.
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes,
Motion carries.
all right. Next is a motion to approve the 2025 operating budget. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any questions or discussion about the operating budget? All right, hearing none, could we have a roll call vote?
I'll do it the other way. Mr. Patel. Yes. Ms. Pam.
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill.
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
yes,
Mr. Di Pasquale. Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
You're having too much fun with this.
What?
You're having too much fun with this.
I mean, it's kind of like, yes.
Okay. All right, now next is a motion to approve the 2025 capital budget. Do we have a motion?
motion to approve capital budget,
Do we have a
twenty
second?
twenty-five.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Pam.
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes,
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
and Ms. Massey.
Yes,
Motion carried.
okay. Next is a motion to transfer $1 million from the operating account to the North Edison Branch capital account. Do we have a motion?
motion to transfer $1 million.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, then roll call vote, please.
Mr. Patel. Yes. Ms. Pam.
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill.
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
Yes,
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
and Ms. Massey.
Yes. And we have a motion to approve the 2023 audit report prepared by Supply Clooney. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the 2023 audit report.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any further questions or comments about the audit report? Hearing none, could we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale.
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
yes,
Ms. O'Neill.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Ms. Pam.
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes,
You're right, I think it's too many of these.
you're
roll call
going,
votes.
you're going in circles.
And none of them really can be done by unanimous consent, so
No,
they really have to be
No.
roll call votes.
no, that's true. All right,
We're still in the business.
we are still in new business, so I don't know whether we have any other, yeah, we have to Yeah, we have to have a motion to, we don't have it written down here, but we need a motion to,
For the,
approve Alan's, our director's, yeah, how do we word this?
Do you want to do the contract? Cause I could do that.
It's Dominic's point to do that.
Sure, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
was it
if you
2
could.
years or-
well, someone would have to,
That would have to be clarified.
Okay,
That would have to
so,
be
all
clarified.
right, I'm just gonna, for purposes of short circuiting everything, making it simple. The board, there will be a resolution by one of the board members to, offer, Mr. Kleinman a contract, for the position of, library director. There was discussion, I'm not sure if that would be for 1 year or 2. However, the terms of the contract would be a very simple contract. For purposes of tonight, the motion would be to offer Mr. Kleinman a contract, which would be binding upon his acceptance. He would have until December 31st of 2024 to accept or reject the contract as offered. The contract would be, if it were for 1 year, and even regardless of this 1 year or 2 years, is going to track the salary increases that are given to the rank and file union members. The contract only provision other than the salary would be that it would be a for-cause contract, converting Mr. Kleinman's employment from an at-will basis to a for-cause basis, which would mean that in order for the contract to be terminated, there would have to be just cause in accordance with standard legal principles. And the resolution would just to be done with some discussion as to how simple this could be made. And it could be very simple. The resolution will be authorizing me to send an email to Mr. Kleinman, basically just setting forth those 2 terms, which he would then could respond by email on or before the December 31st to the board president with a copy to me, and that would be the acceptance of the contract. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have a resolution?
Well, we do, yeah. Does anybody want to make that
Does
motion?
anyone want to make a motion?
I would like to make that motion.
All right,
I'll second it.
okay. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second.
Well,
Do we have any?
well, you're making the motion, is it a motion for a 1 year contract, a 2 year contract, 1 year with extension?
Good call.
Good call.
Clarify your motion, please.
Okay, my opinion is 1 year with an extension clause,
And an extension at the option of.
at the option of the board.
I just wanted to clarify, so.
Absolutely.
All right, Sue, and you're okay with that second?
Of course.
That stays, okay. Any questions or comments or discussion? All right, hearing none, could we have a roll
Just to
call?
let you know, you're announcing.
Sir,
Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
stay.
It's okay.
You're safe.
It's good. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Mead,
Yes.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Di Pasquale,
Yes.
Mr. Romano,
yes,
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel. Yes. And Ms. Massey.
Yes,
Motion carries.
all right. Okay, we are now in public comment.
Okay, I have,
Okay, yeah, but-
One
but-
second, just 1 second.
Sorry,
Never mind.
Oh.
I was mistaken. Go ahead. We are now in public comment.
Just state your name and address, please.
yeah, please.
okay. Michael Wood, 2 Keene Lane, Edison, New Jersey.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. So the first question I wanted to ask you is just a clarification on how many bids did you receive? On Amtrak, we have to have at least 3 bids.
it was
How many
14.
Oh, no,
bids did
there
you get?
were multiple bids,
Was it more than 3?
Oh, yes, it was more than
That's,
three,
see, that's the,
yes.
also, you kind of said it, but you mumbled. Where is the new location?
Oh, sorry, it is at, it's right on Oak Tree Road.
What's the address?
It is
1907.
1907. okay.
1907.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you
Yes.
before.
Yeah, I know, 1907 Oak Tree Road.
It's across from the old Edison Family Restaurant.
Right, if you remember where the Edison Family
Yes.
Restaurant
You
is.
know,
It's
which is
literally
now
a-
closed.
Yes, it's closed, but it's literally across the street.
Okay.
Um,
Now, does that appropriately, again, because I've been in this stuff, 504, 503, federal certifications. 504, I'm sorry, HCW 504, 503 certifications.
I
Are you
personally,
talking about ADA?
It's for the handicap. You have to have
yeah,
access
yes.
for the handicap,
yes,
That
yes,
Totally
it does.
including the bathrooms.
It's
That building-
perfect,
Yes,
it's
totally.
perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
I'm
Yes.
saying,
Yes, there's a fabulous ramp that goes right up to the front.
yeah, but
It's
it's the
all
right
on the
grade.
first, it's,
If
yes.
you're in a wheelchair, you
Yes.
you can't be
This
going
is-
like this.
This is a functioning office building that's being used by others, so yes.
Well,
And be
it
used
still
by-
may not be 504 or 503.
As far as we know, they can't lease, right? Can they not lease it unless it is?
Yeah, they have to, yeah, it is.
You may have
It
to
is.
modify the grading, that's all I'm
They
saying.
have,
Right, they would have to, but that would be their responsibility. We're just leasing it, so.
Okay. The one thing that I wanted to really bring up, are you familiar with the magazine? Now I'm almost forgetting. Foreign Affairs,
Yeah,
okay. Do you have a prescription for Foreign Affairs?
I don't know without checking.
Cause you should, but again, I've been in this town for, since 58. Things have changed. And Foreign Affairs, Sid's used to have it, the magazine, when it was a store. You should have it. I mean, it basically goes back to, after World War One.
Now,
When we went there, the people thought we were kind of pumpkins, heads,
you-
because we didn't really know that much about Europe. Now, with Foreign Affairs, we're up to date on it. Kissinger and other people write it. You should have it especially in North Edison, but you should have it in all three branches.
okay, so I know you're online every day.
Yes,
Have you checked to see if it's available online in one of our 3 different locations?
I don't know how you would do that.
I will have one of the librarians here check it for you
Yeah,
and show you. I believe it's available online, for you to access
yeah, but,
anytime you want.
but it's
You're not.
also printed out.
No, that's that's different, and, but at least we have it for you, until we're able to get a subscription.
Okay, but I was willing to even pay for the prescription.
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh.
But that's if you don't have it.
Ah,
I got it for like my niece-in-law, she served in the British, service over in Kenya and all, so it's very helpful.
thank you, thank you.
I will check on, we're of course closed the next 2 days,
Okay.
but I will check on it and, let John, who you know is the branch manager here, know that you inquired about it, and at least I can, tell him it's online, and we can look into, we're just, starting to renew all our magazines for 2025, and we certainly can include, a
Foreign
subscription of that, yeah.
Now, the other thing is, I brought up before the meeting.
Yes.
The health problem you're facing, you don't have water here. That's reliable. This fountain has been broken for over 3 months. The other one is intermittent. I mean, when the water comes out this way and you have to almost suck on it, which is not really
No.
appropriate.
Keep in mind, this place, this building is going to be closed
Yeah, but you,
pretty soon.
I know, but you
And-
can at least fix this. This is not, this is not a nuclear reaction. It's very simple. Get a plumber and fix it, or increase your water pressure. Your toilets don't even work properly.
You did.
They
mention
don't
that.
flush
You mentioned-
because you don't have the water pressure.
No,
I'm
you
sorry if
did.
I'm speaking loud.
Yeah.
But it's idiotic.
I think that's one of the things they're going to have to address.
Yeah, they will address that when the building is closed and the
Yeah,
renovation takes
but
place.
this stuff is something that you can address immediately, especially at least the water fountain. Unless you wanna close the building now because of the health hazard. Is that what you want? You wanna have this place condemned as a health hazard?
I'm gonna say something. The public building is not required to have a water fountain. We will certainly look into the other water fountain, but replace this water fountain was over $2,500, which is a waste of taxpayers'
I
money.
agree with you.
Well, because we're closing the building.
I know.
And so the plumber was here. No one mentioned to me when the plumber was here that the other one was low pressure. We will check with Middlesex Water to see what the water pressure issue is.
Yes.
And get an inspector out here, and ask, for them to look at, what's going on out
Yeah.
between the street and, the library.
Yeah, it could even be an attenuated problem. That means you have a pipe and then you have a partial blockage. And then, it will, if you had a tank, it would be no problem, but because it's water pressure, when you flush, all of a sudden, poof, there's no water pressure. Because it's backed up, it's like a dam. That's all.
All right.
And again, I mentioned about the, what the heck is it? That I was trained on, the,
Defibrillator.
The defibrillator. Yeah.
It should, the one that we have on the road, because of the simply, you can't just have it sitting there, it's gotta stay charged.
Of
Or
course.
checked. Who was responsible for even checking it? Is it the librarians? Is it the fire department? Is it the police department? Who is that's what I'm asking. Who is
That is a
responsible?
good question. That is a good question.
As far as I know, our custodians are checking it every month. I will check with them.
Yeah, and, having it charged, who's charging it? The ones we have are constantly charged, it's there, you need it, you pull it out, you unplug it and use it. But if it's sitting there, it's not charged, guess what, batteries, especially them, they go down pretty fast.
We will check that now.
So you go to
I'll get
use it,
back to you on that.
if it doesn't work, the guy's dead.
Of course, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to attend.
Yeah, as I said, and I told you, it's gonna be like 9 o'clock.
You never know. I know. Well, now, all right, public comment is
Yep.
closed, and now we're going on to announcements. We do not have our council liaison, tonight, because they have a council meeting tonight. And our mayor's rep is not here. And do you, Mr. Romano, have anything to report as superintendent's rep?
Keeping in mind.
Wow.
Keeping in mind that it's December 23rd and president is waiting and it's getting late.
Oh, okay, okay.
Take
Yeah,
time,
we look at that.
Take your Christmas present?
but take your time.
No pressure, no
No
pressure.
Make it short and sweet.
Basically.
The 5 contracts, for all of the buildings, for our improvements have been completed.
Okay.
JP Stevens, the only one. That project is about 1/3 finished. The board took and approved the funding formula for John Marshall. That'll be 32 classrooms, gymnasium. And we'll have a bigger cafeteria. We're planning on other additions, but funding formulas coming from the state at this present time. Kind of light right now. But the formula for, John Marshall was over 35 million. And, there's a Edison High is on our plan. And the next project would be, Lindenau, Ben Franklin, and, John Adams, another. But we're moving forward.
That's
We're
excellent.
looking forward to a productive year this year.
That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you. All right, do we have any other announcements? I just want to say thank you again to this board. Thank you again, Lisa. Thank you again, Sue. We have no idea whether we're returning, not a clue. But if we don't return, it really has been an honor to serve on the board. And I thank you all.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right, it has. It's been an honor.
And we thank you for leading us all these years.
Well,
With
thank
my tenure here. And you've done a fantastic job and we really appreciate it. And
Thank
if you do not come back, we will really miss you. Really.
Well, you know what? I am not leaving town.
Okay.
I am not.
We know where
leaving
you
town.
live.
Yes, yes,
Well, Ms.
yes.
Massey has been voted in to be on the, Edison Public Library Foundation. So she's going to be around,
No, I will definitely.
one way
be
or the
around.
other.
I will be. All right, so the next, is it a special meeting? I don't know. The next meeting is
Oh,
Tuesday,
no,
January
I think it's
14th.
just, yeah, it's the reorg and
The
everything.
reorg, right, is January 14th, 2025. And it's gonna be right here at North Edison Branch. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I
So
just have. I'm-
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I thought, no, yeah, I do,
I have a question.
sure.
The attorney, the board attorney. The board attorney, what is the board attorney, is his time up? Or can we extend his contract for a year?
That would have to be for the new board. Right?
What's that?
Wouldn't it have to be for the new
Yeah,
board?
our meeting in January.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
asking, I don't know.
it's usually in January when you,
Reorganization.
when you do the reorganization.
He's part of the reorganization.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, no,
No, I don't.
I think it
Wanted
would
to
make
know.
sense for, Dominic to continue as the attorney.
I mean, at the Board of Ed, you know, anything that our attorneys are involved with stay on until all of the issues that attorney is involved with stays on until
And it's
it's all
completed.
finished or things expire. So in other words, you know, lawsuit, this, that, and the other. I'm just curious
Yeah, no,
how
that
that
does make
works.
sense. That does make sense.
I mean, there's nothing that I know that precludes the board, voting the attorney in December versus at the reorg. I don't know if there's anything that I know of. But we just do it as a course of the reorg along with the auditors and whatever, but all of those could be done in December.
Yeah.
Like we do the board, the budget and anything else that gets done. There really is no requirement that I know of that says it has to be done at reorg.
All right.
But that's my question.
Yeah, it can be done.
I don't.
So
know.
should we make I could make a motion to continue, to have Dominic continue to be the library board's attorney for 2025?
You can.
Can we have an open discussion?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I made a motion, but we would have to have a second.
So moved.
Okay, do we have, yeah, let's have discussion. Do we have any discussion?
I'd just rather have a vote.
Okay, all right, if there's no
That
further,
was your discussion.
all
Sorry.
right, if we don't have any further discussion, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure, Ms. Mead,
Yes, so we can go home.
Ms. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. De Pasquale,
No,
Mr. Romano,
Yes,
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Pam,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
and Ms. Massey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I would just, can I just be heard for 1 second?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I appreciate your confidence. I appreciate the vote. I am saddened, as you are,
Uh-huh.
that some of you may not be here. Well, we know Lisa's not gonna be here next year, except for the first meeting, and I am truly saddened by that.
Yeah.
And I would be sad if either, Pat or Sue were not here also, because I do think that they're excellent board members, but, having the board voted, and just to allay any fears, no matter who is on the board, and no matter what the board composition is, my job is the same. It's to represent the library, protect the library, and protect each of the board members individually and as a group. And I appreciate your confidence in appointing me. And I will do that job for as long as I'm able to, and as long as you wish me to. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right,
now I'll make a motion.
all right.
I'd like to make a motion to close.
Excellent. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so this meeting is adjourned at 9:04.